Hi, and welcome back to Football Made Simple. Spontaneity is one of the first words you associate with Ronaldinho, and during the mid-2000s, this was on full display, with a bag of tricks that left defenders twisted up game after game, the very definition of the beautiful game. He made the impossible seem effortless, and for a while, he ruled the football world, all whilst bearing a smile. He made countless fall in love with the game, and in this video we take a look at the career of Ronaldinho. But just quickly, if you're a football lover and want to keep up to date with your favorite teams and players, check out our video sponsor, OneFootball. It's a completely free app available for iOS and Android, giving you the latest news, statistics, match updates and more, and you can get it through the link in the description. Born in Porto Alegre, it was clear from an early age that Ronaldinho was destined to be a star, famously scoring all 23 goals in a 23-0 win for his team at just 13. And this was his first brush with the mainstream media. But 99 is the year where he went from prospect to breakout star. With his hometown club Grêmio, he was instrumental in their run to the state championship final and scored 23 goals in 48 matches at just 18 years of age. At the end of that season, he was called up to the Confederations Cup squad, and with big names like Ronaldo and Rivaldo absent, he was the key attacking component, finishing the tournament as the top scorer, with 6 goals in just 5 games, as he led them to the runner-up position and was voted the tournament's best player. It began a trend for him, where when he played well with Brazil, he played well for his club. Interest in him was rife after the tournament, with many top European clubs interested, such as Arsenal. But in the end, he joined PSG for €5 million. Despite his tender age, being in a new league and country, and not being a guaranteed starter, Ronaldinho's impact was profound, especially in the second half of the season. His name was becoming wider spread across the world, and his star was on the rise, as he scored 9 and assisted 7 in that season. But he and then manager Luis Fernandes often occupied the back pages as a rift developed between the two of them. Fernandes was annoyed by the Brazilians' tendency to spend more time in the Parisian nightclubs than in training, as well as always taking a few extra days to return to training after his holidays in Brazil. Ronaldinho was unbothered by the criticism and maintained the same lifestyle. But at the end of that season was the 2002 World Cup, the tournament which saw Ronaldinho catapult himself into superstardom. The Brazil team came in as one of the pre-tournament favourites due to their attacking talents. However, a strong defensive base was key to the team. Led by Scolari, Brazil played with the back three of Lucio, Roque Jr. and Edmilson as the sweeper, was given the mobility to drop deep when defending, as well as try to overload the midfield when they had possession. 2 generational fullbacks were given the freedom of the flanks, marauding to provide crosses and shots throughout the tournament. Their midfield was functional, its main aim to provide a shield for the defense in Gilberto and Kleberson. Their front three was deadly. Ronaldo would threaten in behind with his pace, causing the defense to fall a few yards deeper. Rivaldo had the freedom of movement to create wide overloads or drop deep, or even join Ronaldo high, which left a gaping hole filled by none other than Ronaldinho. With a solid 7 behind him, he didn't have to think about defending, instead being the hub of the team, receiving constant touches throughout the match, and as a result, many moments of magic, as he linked the defense to the attack. He had support in every direction and often found the key pass and wasn't afraid to have a shot himself either. In the quarterfinal against England, he produced a tournament-defining performance. Michael Owen capitalized on a defensive error and England looked in control going into the break. But in a 7-minute spell either side of the break, Ronaldinho decided the match. In added time, from deep in his own half, Ronaldinho picked up the ball, leaving Scholes and the entire England midfield in his wake. Ashley Cole came out to close him, but an effective step over left him scrambling, and with the defense converging on him, he released a simple pass to Rivaldo, which led to their goal, 1-0. Just after the break, Brazil had a free kick in a perfect crossing position. But Ronaldinho had seen something that no one else had, and as the ref blew the whistle, he sent the ball floating over Seaman's head for the goal, making it 2-1. And despite being later sent off, Ronaldinho had secured the game. Brazil went on to win that World Cup, and Ronaldinho was voted to the All-Star team, with his 2 goals and 2 assists in 5 matches, meaning that Ronaldinho fever had taken over the footballing world. He went on to spend a further season with PSG, putting in more great performances. However, a combination of continual rifts with Fernandes and PSG not qualifying for Europe meant he was looking for a new challenge. Top clubs including United, Real and Barca lined up for his signature. The newly elected Barcelona president, Joan Laporta, needed a statement signing, and the €30 million Brazilian was the perfect candidate. Ronaldinho, now a star, was greeted by 30,000 fans at his presentation at the Nou Camp. But early in his first season, he suffered from niggling Achilles tendon problems, meaning that he often missed games early on, and midway through the season, Barcelona were down in 12th. Ronaldinho was more than just an expensive signing. Barca for years have been trying to claw their way out of the shadows after a dark period, and needed him to be the talisman to lead them out of it. And when he did return from injury, he showed exactly why. He slotted into a front three, and once again became the crucial attacking link between midfield and the forwards, looking to come in off the left and into the midfield zone. In the second half of the season, he almost single-handedly grabbed the team by the scruff of the neck and dragged them up the table. And he was part of the moment that gave birth to the new Barcelona. The game stood at 1-1 against eternal rivals Real Madrid at the Bernabéu, where Barca had only dreamed of winning for 7 years. In the 86th minute, with both teams having heavy legs, Xavi found himself unusually high up the pitch and spotted Ronaldinho moving infield to zone 14 to cause havoc. He slid a pinpoint pass to him and continued his run. There appeared to be no space to make a pass, but Ronaldinho lofted a delightful scoop just in time to break the offside line, and Xavi acrobatically dispatched it. 2-1. Barcelona had just come away with victory against Real Madrid. Xavi would go on to credit that moment as the moment the Barcelona rise began, led by Ronaldinho, who scored 15 and assisted 6 that season. If in 2003-04 he was the best player in the world, from 2004 to 2006 he entered a league of his own. The club had now signed Eto'o, and a certain Messi was beginning to appear more often. With Giovanni always overlapping, Ronaldinho had the freedom to move infield. He was above being shackled down to a position anyway, being given the freedom to stay higher up the pitch even when the team was on the defensive. Rijkaard provided the perfect platform for him to show off every skill in his repertoire, and he mixed that with a deadly eye for goal. In this spell, he single-handedly won several big games and even trophies for the team. In that 2-year spell, in the league alone he scored 26 goals and provided 33 assists in just 64 appearances. He led them to back-to-back La Liga titles, their first in 5 years, a Champions League and 2 Super Copas. In addition, he was recognized as the best player in the world in 05 and 06 with the Ballon d'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year, and a statue was erected in Brazil to celebrate him. But perhaps the best recognition of what level he had achieved came one night at the Bernabéu. Sticking wider left than usual and allowing Messi instead to drift in, it was clear he was up for the match early on, testing Salgado from the first minute. One moment stood out in particular, where he dropped almost to the halfway line, turned and spotted a run 40 yards away from Eto'o, and chipped a delightful no-look through ball perfectly to the forward. On any other night, that would have been the highlight of the match, but throughout the whole game he went past Salgado as if he wasn't there, and ran at Ramos almost at will. For his first goal of the night, he took advantage of Salgado out of position, and Ramos came across to cover, and he was swiftly bypassed as well. Ronaldinho then cut in past another defender to finish past the stranded Casillas. The second goal was a carbon copy of the first. Ramos knew what Ronaldinho was going to do, but he still couldn't get close enough to make a meaningful tackle. As the ball nestled in the net, the Bernabéu rose to their feet and applauded the magic of Ronaldinho. But the tournament that changed his career was quickly arriving. Brazil again were strong contenders for the 2006 World Cup, now with the famous attacking four, so talented that Nike ran a whole advertising campaign based around them. When the tournament started, Brazil were using a 4-4-2 to cram all their attacking talent onto the field. But it was clear from early on the team lacked balance, being extremely top-heavy. The fullbacks were 4 years older, and without a third centre-back, had more responsibility to defend but still had to provide the width, as their wingers tucked infield. But now older, they instead focused more on the defensive element, so the team lacked width, affecting the balance. This strange balance meant that Ronaldinho didn't get on the score sheet all tournament, and only got 1 assist. In the end, they crashed out in the knockouts to the strong France team, and their reaction in Brazil was not forgiving. The statue of Ronaldinho in Chapecó was destroyed, as frustration about the perceived failure was taken out. The mood in the country was grim. The team were very much viewed as failures in Brazil. But on the night of the knockout, Ronaldinho was seen well into the wee hours of the night in a nightclub with teammate Adriano, further angering the Brazil fans. This unfortunately was the beginning of the end for the magician. Despite a career-high 21 league goals in the next season, his influence was waning as Messi was becoming more prominent, and the late nights of clubbing that had plagued his early career returned with a vengeance, and his presence in training was now even more sporadic. When Guardiola came in, he knew that Ronaldinho would not be a man that he could depend on. His focus and passion for the game was gone, and as Pep said, if I felt that he wanted to be the player he was again, he would still be here, but the situation has deteriorated. He subsequently moved to AC Milan for 22 million euros, and he enjoyed another up and down season. In his first season, he played out on the left and started off well, but his usual off-the-pitch antics showed up again. But in his second season, after Kaká had left, Ronaldinho's moved back to the free 10 role, and roaming around the pitch, we saw a resurgence as he probed defenses and finished as Serie A's top assister. But it still wasn't the same Ronaldinho. As Ancelotti, his then coach, said, "The decline of Ronaldinho hasn't surprised me. His physical condition has always been very precarious. His talent, though, has never been in question." When he left the club, he went on to appear for various clubs around the Americas, but he never came anywhere near the peak he enjoyed before. The drive he enjoyed for a spell under Rijkaard was gone. It looked like the sport he loved had at times just become a job. And what can we expect when he had won everything there is to win? Ronaldinho had never been driven by being the best, instead just playing the game that he loved and happened to become the best. It leaves football fans with the question, what could have been had he been dedicated? How good exactly could he have gone on to become? And we'll never know. Instead, our minds will be left to forever ponder the question in moments of stillness. And a strange solace can be found in allowing our imaginations to run wild. Hope you enjoyed the video. And who do you want to see a video on next? Let me know in the comments below. But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.